Oh, hello, Spirit Family. I'm back just to follow up really quick on the last video that Chloe and I made together. Spirit has been asking for me to remind you guys the importance of you guys checking in on your kids. I know that I have said this in the past, but we quickly and easily can get caught up in the chaos of everything that's going on that we barely remember to care for our own selves, much less our children. And if we're going through this process with intense emotions, and a bunch of different emotions, that come and go, so are they. And because they are very intuitive and still very pure, they are probably picking up and feeling things a lot more than even we are. I know that Chloe is very intuitive. She's an empath, and things hit her quite hard. She can feel and sense, energy. And so I had this, the interview with Chloe with the intention of giving her an opportunity to express, into what's going on and how she feels. Because even though I have been, guiding her and explaining to her what's going on, that doesn't mean that she's okay with it. It just means that she's seen my point of view, or she just understands the explanation that I give her of why I am not, complying to the face coverings. And I really haven't asked her, well, how is it affecting you? And so Spirit is reminding us that we need to ask and check in with them and honor the children too, because they are going through a lot. And we really don't want this to turn into a trauma for them. And so when I asked her the questions, I really had not asked or even told her what we were going to be talking about. I purposely did that so that she can give her real feelings and her, just raw answers, because I wanted to see where she's at. And so some of the things that she's explaining, she is saying, some of the stuff that I've taught her, but I wanted to make sure that it's because she also feels that way. And that's why, if you've already watched it, I ask her, okay, well, is it because I'm telling you, or is it because that's how you feel? And she's a very wise person, very, very intelligent, where she does speak up, and oh boy, if she doesn't like something, she's gonna say it. And so it was relieving to know that she really understands why I'm standing up and speaking up, and she realizes that it is because I am protecting our rights, our freedoms, and doing it because it's important, and not because of me just being stubborn or wanting to cause problems. Because being that little, it could easily be seen that way. And she's very aware that it is important to follow rules, and just to behave, basically. But it's also important that if someone's telling you to do something that doesn't feel right to you, then you honor that. And that's what I've been saying this entire time. Us as adults, how are we going to teach that to our children if we can't set the example? We're not leading by the example. And so the part of the message that I want to bring in, that Spirit is saying, is what I've been saying. However, I'm going to give an analogy so that you guys really understand how important your action is. And I know it's like, oh my God, that's all you're talking about. But this is what Spirit is telling me, because Creator God is saying, I can only do what I can do on my end, but this is so big that it takes everyone to turn this ship around. It's going to really take the collective to do their part, because this is a very huge thing that we're going through. It's the salvation of humanity, and if we want to save humanity, it is going to take us to step up and resist in a good way, because resist doesn't always mean that you're being difficult. I think people associate resist with that. And so here goes the sirens again. You know, it's again Spirit saying it's important. It's an not emergency, but it's like literally pay attention. The sirens is always for me a sign of like, well, it is an emergency that we hurry up and do this in a timely manner, because as you guys know, the sirens go on because they need to get somewhere by a certain time, because it's an emergency for them to get there and do something within a certain time. And so that's a validation to me that what I'm telling you is that it is very important that we all collectively do our part and help God, help Creator with this massive thing that we're all going through. And so the part that I want to add is Creator saying, stop saying that people are only doing their job when you go into a place and they're still pushing the face coverings. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. They're not just doing their job at this point. It's been going on long enough. Majority of people know what's going on, and if they're choosing to continue to push this is because that's just their choice now, and they don't care about our feelings. They don't care about how they're making you feel. So that says something about that person. And when we do something that is going to affect someone else, and we're doing it in a selfish way because it's my job, I'm going to lose my job, you're not really thinking about the future or your children's future, or how you're affecting the collective. You're just thinking about your own selfish personal needs, and in the end, everybody ends up losing. Everybody's going to lose that way, because what you're doing is you're only prolonging your own safety net for a little bit longer, but at the end it's going to affect you regardless. It's just a matter of time. You're just buying time is what I'm saying. You're not saving your job or your family, because you're contributing to something that is wrong. And so we all have a choice in how we show up into what's happening right now. And so I'm going to give you an analogy or an example that might seem extreme, but it is what I'm being shown, that every time we say I'm just doing my job, or I'm just this, or they're just whatever, it's an excuse. It's already an excuse for why you're not doing something, and that better. You're finding a reason why you're not doing your part. And Spirit say no. I mean, look at all the nurses and all the doctors and all the police officers, all the firefighters that chose. I mean, they really stood up for humanity and their rights. And this is for a lot of them, it is their life, their passion, not just their livelihood. This is something that they love to do. And because they know that what's going on is evil, they said, I'm not going to be part of that. So it's really about making choices that are, it's not about you anymore. It's not about self, because this, making choices based on self is selfish. It is selfish. And nobody is ever going to win that way. It is about community. And so when you go into a place, it's important that you don't wear your face covering, and that you express, that you're not going to be part of that. And you don't have to fight, and that's why Chloe knows you follow your heart, but you're also kind to people. So that part I do encourage. You always have to be kind to everyone, because everybody is processing this in their own timing, or they're barely coming into the understanding of what's happening. So everybody is in a different phase of this awareness that we're going through. So you want to be kind. However, being kind doesn't mean look the other way and not express or don't stand into your sovereignty and power. On the contrary, you want to lead by example. And so you want to express and say, I'm perfectly healthy. I don't need one, but thank you. I don't wear one, or whatever it is that you want to say, but you pretty much stand your ground. And if they continue to push, then you go somewhere else and you don't give them business. So it's eventually they will have to realize that they're either going to go out of business because we're not going to support the tyranny and the segregation and the discrimination. So we don't support them, we don't give them our dollars, and they're going to eventually do the right thing. Or you just simply say, I'm sorry, thank you, but I don't need one, and you just go in there and shop, and that's it. Usually that's been working for me. My point is that you don't give in to something that is not going to make a difference or change, because they're just doing their job. It's no different, and this is the analogy that I'm going to give you, than if we say that a drug dealer is doing their job because they're taking care of their family. It's wrong is wrong. Why are we going to support that? Why are we going to accept that? Why are we going to say go along with it? And or if somebody's a thief, a thief is a thief because he doesn't have anything, and he just providing for his family in the way he knows how. We don't give we don't give excuses for why people do something that is wrong. And that's what I'm saying. Comes a time where we all have to say it's wrong. Enough is enough. We're not going to continue to contribute to that. And so Creator is saying, I can only do so much. I can't do it all by myself. You need to step up and help and do your part. It's no different than when and I've given this as an example before too. There's a man, woman, whatever you want to put on the boat, but they're out in the boat in the water, and the boat is sinking, and the man is praying, asking God, help, I need your help, save me. And God sends help in the way that a whale. I'll just give an example. A whale goes by and says, jump on my back. And the man is like, oh no, I'm too afraid to jump on your back. I'm going to wait for God to send me help. And so he doesn't jump on the whale's back. And then, something else goes by, and the man keeps saying, oh, I have to wait till the perfect time. And so the boat ends up sinking. And I can't remember how exactly went, but the point is the man, I pretty much butchered it, but you get the point, that God sends several opportunities for this man to save himself, but the man didn't, because it had to look a certain way, or they were just too afraid to accept the help or to do their part. Maybe go swim, take your chance and swim to the sea, or to the land. But instead of taking the chance to swim, they're going to sink. And this is what everybody's doing. Instead of really showing up and standing up and taking your chances, because knowing that unity is going to help us stay strong, everybody is choosing to sit in their own sinking boat, and you're going to sink. You're just going to sink that way. So remember, it's about linking up. The chain is stronger when we all link up. And yes, the chain is also only as strong as the weakest link. Therefore, we must really work through the things that we are feeling or the things that we are fearing, and so that way we are strong and we are solid, and that we can change this, cause that boomerang effect. And that's the only way it's going to change, because what I'm being shown is that it is getting to the point where we are being suffocated so much. The other side, the bad, I don't even want to like separate sides or whatever, but you know what I'm saying. They're going to squeeze so tight. Okay, they're squeezing humanity so tight to the near-death experience, and who knows? Maybe honestly, we may not be able to come back from it because again, we've allowed so much to happen already. So if we don't do something now, we're going to be pretty much taken out, and I don't know that people really get it. And those of you who have been following me, you probably do, so I'm not speaking to you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be still watching these messages. But what I'm saying is that the family, friends, coworkers that are not getting it, it's because we haven't done enough to let them be aware and to really understand what's happening. So in a sense, it does go back to us as far as we're not doing our job. We're not being the deliverers of the information as efficiently as we need to be. So we have to really just go all out. It isn't about sitting on the fence. We have to go all out because again, they're going all out to really wipe out as many people as they can, and we must resist because that's the only way that we get through this. So going back to the beginning of this, check with your children. Check with your children because they feel what we're going through, but they also feel whatever they're feeling, especially if they're still in regular school and they're wearing face coverings the entire day. Oh my gosh. Please make sure that you're doing breathing exercises with them because they need to, and this is just dropping in actually. They need to strengthen their lungs and their, breathing pathway, because the last thing you want is for them to develop respiratory infections, because unfortunately I do see that happening. It's gonna happen because people continue wearing the face coverings, and so your children, if they're in school for long periods of time wearing that, make sure that you incorporate breathing exercises, deep breath, expanding the chest and the lungs, and getting them used to doing that throughout the day without obviously the covering. And then give them lemon and honey, stuff that is going to help them, and also keep them from developing mucus in their chest. So lemon and honey is good for children, and just not too much honey because then that can also not be good for even adults. So do a little bit more research on that if you feel that that's something that you want to implement. And there's different things that you can utilize even as adults, because if you're at work and you're using the face coverings, then make sure that you're also taking care of your respiratory system. And sea moss is also great for it. So that's it for now. I will continue to bring information as it comes through, and I will continue to share links as I feel, so that is important. I know that I've shared Mel K, and I know that I've talked about Michael Chayko, but I don't know if I've actually shared a link. So I feel like I'm going to share his link because he does come with some important information. You just have to kind of pick and choose what you want to listen to or what you want to watch, because he does share a lot of different information because he's very gifted also. He's very intuitive, and he has military background. I think it's military. Yeah, military. And so it's very interesting. I really enjoy watching him. So I will share one of his videos, and then if you feel called to subscribe, then you can do that. All right, and other than that, I'm still taking requests for the live Zoom call for the healing. In fact, you know what I think I'm gonna do as I'm speaking into this? What I'm gonna do is, once I am ready for, for the date, I'm going to just put the link here and you guys can decide if you guys want to join. So just to clarify, the Zoom link I'm going to end up sharing in one of the YouTube videos. Yeah, I think that's going to be easier. That way, if you guys have time, great, you can join me. And if not, then that's okay. But just know that it's with the intention of clearing and healing. so that you guys can just have that clarity or that balance, whatever it is that you guys are seeking at the moment. So until next time, love you guys, blessings, aho.